Welcome, and thank you guys for joining for our live stream for the new Laphroaig 18-year-old. Welcome, everybody. Dustin and I are excited to be back on a live stream. Been a while since we've done one of these things, but when we saw that the new Laphroaig 18 was out again, Dustin, you called me, said, Mike, check this out on the website. I said, I can't believe it. We've been hearing the rumors and seeing the stats. They were going to do all bourbon, 48% again. So Dustin and I rushed out and picked up the new 18s.
Boom.
Dustin, welcome, my friend. As always, my trusted partner in Scotch whiskey, not only purchasing, but critiquing.
And drinking.
And drinking, for sure. So we actually have been waiting to do a bottle pop on this. So we have held off on having this whatsoever. Me and Dustin are going to kind of level set with a couple other whiskey here that are both cast strength and all ex-bourbon matured, just like this 18-year-old, which is important. So we both have the 10 open from batch 15.
It's not cast strength, Mike. It's 48, so it's but it's good proof.
The comparisons we have are both cast strength.
Yes. Well, and I know you don't have one, Mike, but I did pull out a Lure just to kind of end the night.
Good one.
Because I know, price-wise, these are going to be pretty competitive with each other. I think the 18 is going to be the premium. But, man, Lure's gone up to like 150 in some markets.
Yeah, no, it's a big number. Yeah, but really, how many well-aged or Laphroaigs with any type of age and ABV can you get besides the 10 for the most part, and like the cartridges and things of that nature?
Yeah, Lure, we're told there's some older whiskey in here, but not a lot.
So not only did we get this 18, but I got a little Glencairn water jug to commemorate the 18 coming back. What I want to do, Dustin, is we'll get these popped open, but I want to say Laphroaig 18 for me had a very special place in my whiskey journey. You know how fondly I've talked about, I have, I think, 7 of the old 18s still unopened here. It was a whiskey that I had bought as much as any whiskey ever. I don't know for sure if I bought more Lagavulin 16s or Laphroaig 18s in my life, but when I got big into Isla, it was something that was always here in Grove City, Ohio. It was like $111, 48% ABV, and I gravitated to it. I loved Laphroaig 18. It was my first Laphroaig love. And I know that Laphroaig initially wasn't something you gravitated to, still we had some of the older ones. So I'm really happy for you to get a chance to try this new 18-year-old.
Yeah, no, you're right, Mike. I was not aware of how good Laphroaig could get with age until I came over to your place and you gave me a 25, and I was like, oh.
For sure. So, Dustin, I want to kind of just talk about, kind of everything with this new Laphroaig. Just so you guys know, it's still the same 48% ABV that it was before. On top of that, it's all ex-bourbon matured, which it always was. It was always only ex-bourbon. So instead of coming in tubes, it comes in these square boxes, which I'm all for boxes.
If you notice, Mike, though, they're kind of cheating. It's kind of like, how do I put it? It's like one of those guys who decides to have a little lift in his shoe. They add a little inner layer to make this box bigger. So if you compare this to the new Cartridge box, it's noticeably taller and wider.
For a guy whose height starts with the number 5, Dustin, I think probably those shoes a little bit better than me.
You are full of shit, Mike. But anyway.
Coach says like shoulder pads in the 80s suits. You ain't wrong, bro. And they had those in the 90s. There was nothing worse than shoulder pads in suits. They did them for men and for women.
Oh, there's still. You can't buy a suit without shoulder pads unless you have it custom made.
They're just not like they used to be.
But they still are unnecessary.
Yeah, no, I get it. I completely agree. If you have shoulders, they're completely unnecessary.
Oh, and women's shoulder pads in the 80s. Oh, my God. They're like my linebackers.
Wow.
Brian Urlacher? Oh, nope, that's Madonna.
Older they get, the more they look the same. Hey, so a little bit different change as far as the bottle design on this, just slightly. It basically had 418 before. The Laphroaig is a little bit thinner print. The 18 is a little bit bigger on this one than it was on some of the other ones. So it was a white label before. Plus they have the little royal, I don't know what they call that. Looks like the fleur-de-lis.
It's the appointment of His Honorable Prince of Wales, which I thought he was now the king. So maybe I don't know. Maybe he still is Prince of Wales too.
Probably. You probably get to keep all those titles. Someone from the UK is here. Maybe you guys can tell me. I don't know. All right, Dustin. So let's get these bottles. Let's get these popped. I'm gonna pour 2 drams. I'm gonna pour one, and I'm gonna get right into. I'm gonna pour one that we're gonna let sit for a while. So we're gonna basically talk about this Laphroaig 18 the whole time. So let's get these. Oh, and you know what? They have the wooden cork like with the new Carchus this year. If you guys
Yeah,
haven't had a chance to
I
try,
like it.
yeah, the new Carchus. Dustin and I have a video of the Carchus 10-year-old PX and triple wood coming out next Wednesday. So we have that scheduled, but very similar wooden cork. Exactly. Yeah.
Beauty
Yeah.
context here. This is the 25 year. It's actually got the kind of boring plastic, and here, the new one looks a lot nicer actually. I mean,
yeah, it was just like the Carchus. And in our Carchus review, I never mentioned that about the new cork, but I do appreciate it's all wood all over the top. It's not plastic, and then with a cork inside of it, it's all some type of cork or wood. Ooh, look at that pop.
beautiful pop.
A little subdued right off the nose. So I'm going to get 2 of these poured. About the same color I remember. I don't know who has this Laphroaig new 18 or any Laphroaig there, but obviously I'd like for you guys, if you're able to do it, to join us here with a little dram.
Everybody, if you don't have an 18, just crack one of your 25s. If you don't have that, maybe a 30.
All right, so now, Dustin, like I told you, I poured the cast strength 10, and I poured the 25 2001 cast strength 25-year-old, and the batch 15 cast strength 10. Now the 10 is actually darker. 10 is actually darker.
Yeah, I agree. This is 25, and this is the 10. 10 is definitely darker.
Yeah, so I'm going to put that over here with one. But let's before we get into this, man, let's say hi to everyone. Let's see who's commenting.
Oh man, we messed up on Teddy here. His is coming tomorrow. We're a day early for him.
Hey, better early than never. Usually it's late than never. What's up, Jason Coates, man? Good to see you, brother. Please do a blind comparison. Yeah, we got a couple of things planned with this. We're going to compare it against the old one, do a few other things like that. My dude DJ, good seeing you, brother. As always, my favorite memer.
I have never heard anybody call a dude their favorite BJ.
DJ. Christine, how you doing? Yeah, I hope you guys. I believe Christine, if I'm not mistaken, is up in Canada. So hopefully you guys get
Oregon.
Oh, is she in Oregon? I thought she was in Canada for some reason. That's my mistake. Welcome. Hardest creature like we need ready to roll. I think this went through our first try. All right. Dustin.
I thought we had filters to block those comments like from Alex there. Laphroaig 8. Or Lagavulin 8 year and a Hardened Creek 2 year.
Dustin's favorite. All right, Dustin. What do you think about this nose?
It's actually surprisingly, I thought it was pretty rich. You said it was closed off.
And when I smelled it from the bottle, it was a little closed off. But yeah, I mean, I tell you what, it's punchy and oaky and a good sharp vanilla. Those things are pretty reminiscent of the old version of it.
I'm getting a ton of just that kind of wet, like pond stone kind of a note.
Yeah, a little bit of wet stone for sure.
It's pond where it's got a little bit of like it's got some green growing on it. A little bit of lily pads are out there, and I'm definitely getting some lime, man. Beautiful lime note.
A little bit of minerality as well. I agree with you on the lime note. A little bit of minerality.
Definitely 100% with you on the oakiness. I'm not getting as much vanilla yet. I don't know if that's just kind of what came up first to me was the mineral note.
Yeah, beautiful light color. Very Laphroaig-ish. I don't know if they color this, but I assume Laphroaig colors most of their whiskey other than the 25 and the special editions.
That is a good question that we'll probably never get a hard answer from.
It is a little hard to get that answer out of Laphroaig, I got to say. Okay, so I'm picking up the cereal note that I really, really liked in this whiskey before.
Oh, look at that. Donner says he's still got a Laphroaig 18 sample from us on a prior live stream.
Oh, there you go, Donner. Nice.
If you're not working, buddy, crack it. Although I think you work late, so you might still be working.
I want to say that was a green tube because I think I sent that to him. So I want to say that was a green tube. Not the green tube and the white tube ones were identical in my opinion. I tell you what, man. I was talking to one of our mutual friends, Dustin, that wasn't too impressed with this initially. But I got to tell you, man, I am.
I'm loving the nose here for sure. I mean, it's really just nailing what I like. Just nailing what I like. There goes Jason, man. He's all in to buy one now. We told him his favorite note.
Oh, it's back.
I'm getting a nice depth where it's starting to show some real signs of aged whiskey. I'm trying to think of the best way to look at it. It's almost like some shoe polish type notes are coming through.
Yeah, there is a little bit of salted leather here. I mean, overall, man, this is pretty close to what I remember.
And we have failed as YouTubers. We got to figure out a way to get on StreamYard and not have that stupid little heart thing showing up in the chat. It's the worst thing out there. I'm just going to bring up Teddy there because we can't read it through regular YouTube chat. Oh, look at Teddy rocking the Wild Turkey 12 in the back. I like it.
Oh, man, I tell you what, Dustin, I'm so happy with this. I was afraid it would be a massive step down in quality. And, I mean, we'll compare it to one of the old 18s, but this is no massive step down. I'm not even sure a real hardcore step down at all.
Yeah, guys, expect a full review of this as well as a comparison with the old 18. And yes, actually, Donner just said it, but yes, we will definitely bring in
new result for sure.
We probably have to bring in Lore because I mean, Lore did replace the 18 originally. I mean,
we'll look at all three. We'll compare the 18s together for sure. We're not both doing 18s right now, only because me and Dustin don't have the 18s. I have the 18s here, so we'll do that in Lores, and we'll bring them all together. We'll break it all down for you.
I do have Lore cracks, but Mike doesn't have a Lore, so
right. Shockingly enough, I keep thinking to throw it in every time like when I ordered this or something. I was like, throw it in. It's like $60 on that overseas site. I don't know why I don't engage that more often.
It's a great whiskey. I mean, it's one you should have on your quote unquote distraction bar at all times. Really, it's really good whiskey, and it hits the spot when you want some sherry and peat.
Back when linebackers looked like space marines. I know what that comment means, Dustin. You're not a Warhammer fan, but I am. And then, yeah. You talk about the shoulder pads things. Yeah, that's what I want. I want the Andy Katzenmoyer being here. In the Ohio State territory, man, Katzenmoyer always had those big shoulder pads, and he looked absolutely like a space marine, ultramarine, maybe one of the Blood Angels, if you know what I mean, Coates. Finally, I thought I was dropping all those Warhammer little innuendos for the last 2 years, and no one was getting it. One person was getting it.
You don't get too much by Jason. He's got a broad breadth of knowledge and interests.
I love nerdy subjects, and I love Warhammer. I played you a couple of those not too long ago just to kind of show you what those were. I am such a big fan of that. Wales, Tales, Prince of Wales. The number is, I don't know, DJ. Hey, I tell you what, wasn't he a big fan of the 15-year-old? Wasn't that the thing about Charles or Prince Charles?
I think you're right. He was a fan of that one. I thought I saw.
Man, he needs to drink this 18. This is way better than that 15 ever was.
I was not a huge fan.
The 15, I had both versions. They were both 43%. It was just a little bit weak for
me. That's beautiful, beautiful. It's getting richer. The depth here is getting more. It's getting more smoky. The earthiness and the peat's coming out, Mike. I'm really starting to get that wood smoked barbecue thing. But it's like it's not just wood. I mean, there's hot coals, but I mean it's almost like you're in Hawaii and you're running across the coal pit or something. I mean it's rich.
Oh yeah, I'm kind of going back and forth between. So like this is the 10 cask strength, and the 10 is still a beautiful whiskey. The cask strength 10s are not. I mean, for the money, they're great whiskeys.
Wow, look how dark that is. I mean, look at the darkness on the tin.
I know.
That's got to be colored. It's got to be colored.
Got to be. But the vanilla is so punchy on the 10. The peat's so strong. Would you go this 18 then?
The 10 does not have as much depth. It doesn't.
No.
Not as deep. It doesn't go as long.
Very basic. Very basic. Teddy Ball game, a little spicy. You ain't wrong, Teddy. I mean, it's got sherry cask maturation.
You know what's funny is the 25 actually smells younger to me than the 18.
The 25 is fruitier, but you're right. It doesn't come off 7 years older, does it?
So the one I've got, I'm getting more vanilla and like a custard that gives me more of a youthful note.
What are you talking about? The 25?
Yeah, this is the 52 percenter. So all bourbon on this one too.
Yep.
It's got a richness. And mind you, the 52 has always been kind of the richest of the ex-bourbons. But yeah, this has like a really, really nice custard note but it is kind of it's not a young note, but it's a younger note.
I'm busting all the stops. Got my Laphroaig little stopper here, Dustin. I'm so happy this 18 is back. We probably overpaid for this, for these 18 years old with shipping and everything. I think Dustin and I were all in at least 250, 260 and some change. I'm hoping
we bought these around MSRP. I think the MSRP is in the UK should have been about 150, 155 excluding VAT. Pounds excluding VAT.
Correct.
We paid about 165, so I definitely think we paid the high side of retail, but I assume we still paid retail-ish, but we had to ship and all that.
Preston W. I haven't said hi to Preston yet. Laphroaig is the distillery that made me fall in love with Scotch. I'm glad to hear the new 18 is good. I tell you what, man, it was Lagavulin for me, but as soon as I discovered Lagavulin, Laphroaig was right behind it. And then Ardbeg. Like those three were just bang, bang, bang. Like 1, 2, 3. Lagavulin first, then Laphroaig, then Ardbeg. Man, I tell you what, after that, I knew my region.
Lore's probably the least aromatic of the bunch, but it's also by far the fruitiest. Those sherry casks really coming through.
That's all I got to say. Yes, Whiskey World is the only. Yeah, no doubt, man. Whiskey World, Whiskey International, those are both.
We still have a few of those Lores floating around Ohio for pretty fair prices.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh, look who just snuck in.
Mash and Drum, hey, what's up, brother?
Cheers, buddy.
Yeah, Laphroaig 18 came out. We had to take a taste.
Yeah, I was trying to check on Jason to see if he still had his 16-year laying around so we could maybe borrow it for a comparison, but he happily already drank it.
Yeah, the 16, it wasn't the hitters that these things are, man. It certainly wasn't.
Ooh, now I'm getting a really heavy medicinal note. Like, whoa.
Yeah, the iodine is coming up. Oh, she more Blood Angels and Ultramarines. Coates, you ain't wrong. The Blood Rage and the Black Rage is real here at Ohio Stadium, man. If we ever lose a football game, it is totally Sanguinius's Black Rage when that happens.
Ooh, man, the iodine and mint just came raging forward. Wow.
Yeah, it is very minty now that you say that.
Really?
We're going to play with this for a while, for sure. Whoop, sorry. So, I tell you what, man, let's get this going. Let's have a quick sip, man, see what we think.
Yeah, sorry. Teddy just mentioned that he can still get Lore for about 100. And I think it's 110 here in Ohio if you can find it. The problem is for me, it used to be like it was somewhere I could actually go pick one up, like on a normal day. Now I think the closest bottle to me is like a solid 45-minute drive. Like solid 45. There we go. We got Jimmy in the house.
Okay.
We're expecting it in the U.S., Jimmy. I haven't seen anything official, but it's expected to be in the U.S.
All right, so Dustin, I still get a lot of that good vanilla oak, the barley cereal note that I remember from the old ones. It does come off, and we'll get into this when we compare it to another one. It does come off slightly thinner on the palate to me than what I remember. And there is just on the palate, as soon as you swallow, there's a twinge of sour that I don't remember in the old ones. Just a twinge. It's a small amount of sour, but it's there. It maybe wasn't the only one. Sometimes you get that with bourbon cask maturation, but I don't remember that in the 18. So I would say it has a lot of the same flavors, but just slightly less viscous on the palate compared to what I remember, and a slightly sour oak note, which sometimes I get with bourbon cask maturation.
Jason, yeah, go buy it. We have our review coming out not this weekend, but
Wednesday,
I think. And we're gonna gush over it. Mike and I both have 4 bottles. Well, we bought 4 bottles. I've already killed a bottle.
Yeah, so if you guys aren't on our Patreon, I already posted that review of this cartridge 2024. Just as a little side note, It's arguably the best cartridge I've ever had. I mean, it is really worth going out and getting. So if you guys get a chance, you're a fan of the cartridge. For those you don't know, they combine the triple wood and the PX, and they just put an age statement of 10 years on it. So it is quite the stunner.
Mm-hmm.
We're not here to talk about shared cask Laphroaig today, Dustin. We're here to talk about bourbon cask matured only Laphroaig.
Yeah, but no, that is for anybody who hopped in here. We got 29 of you watching, which is incredible. Absolutely, go pick that up if you're interested. And Jazz and Real Hip Hop, what's up, man? Always love seeing you in the comments. Glad to see you in the chat. Oh, I forgot to say, I'm pretty sure, Mike, this might be a Canadian.
Or someone wanted to be a Canadian. I mean, that's always true too.
I mean,
I'm gonna move on from this subject, but I will say Jason Coates, that's an impressive stat. I'm going Necrons next year. All right. I think they started calling around 10, around batch 13. Yeah, so yeah, with the 10, that's what we're going back to. I definitely think that 10 was colored. I want to say I thought all the Laphroaigs were colored unless it was a cartridge bottling or when you get to the 25. I could be wrong. Laphroaig doesn't make it easy to verify a lot of that information.
Well, and some people list coloring just by default in Germany, so they may not even color. They're just like, you know what, you require this bullshit, we're gonna put it on everything just to screw with you.
Oh yeah,
which I kind of respect. So Mike, I think from my memory, you're right. It's on the more acidic side, but it's that iodine and stone, like wet stone note that really is coming through here big time for me.
Yep.
And it's kind of muting the spicy toasted oak note that's really heavy on the finish. There's a really nice toasted oak, but that minerality is making it hard for me to get to it.
Yeah, there is an uptick in minerality from what I remember for sure. And that just comes right off that wet stone note, Dustin. You're completely right about that.
Now, that said, this is the neck pour. I mean, I don't remember the last time. I don't know if I've ever had a neck pour of an 18, you know?
That's true, too. I mean, you got to give it a little bit of time to open up.
So I did add some water here to see what happens. And unlike Mike, I didn't bring out enough Glens. I only brought 4 out. So I will have to just pour a second of this. Shucks.
Already got a second sitting there neat, my friend. I tell you what.
We got the queen of the Irish whiskey right in here.
Welcome.
What's up, Stacy?
Ooh.
We got to at some point have you get over to Mike's place and drink with us. Drink some of those hitter Bushmills, and I'm sure we can surprise you with something.
Where's she at?
She's in Columbus, man.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Who, 4-Leaf?
Yep.
Hey, 4-Leaf, we're in Grove City. Don't be afraid. Come down to the Tucky. She'll know what that means if she's in Columbus. Love to have you sometime. Next time Dustin and I get together, we'll let you know. Like to get together, share a few drinks. We have quite a few fun bourbons. We have a good time.
Yeah, she is. I mean, dude, she has got all the high end Irish stuff. Like that doesn't even sell in the U.S. Like you got to know somebody who knows somebody to get them. You know.
I tell you what, it's been a while since we've done a really good Irish whiskey. We need to revisit some.
Yeah, but we've never done anything at that level. Oh, she's in Grove City even. I didn't realize that.
No way. Yeah.
She probably lives 3 doors down, Mike. You just don't know it.
It's probably my neighbor. If you've seen a black LT1 Camaro cutting you off, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were a whiskey fan. Yeah, but we're over here at Hoover Crossing. Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, we're neighbors. Who knew? I tell you what, Christine, if you ever go to the Hole in One Tavern, which is behind the China Bell, they have quite an impressive Scotch collection at the Hole in One Tavern. Dustin, I am so enjoying this 18.
Man, water's actually really sweetened up the nose on this. It's actually giving me more of that vanilla custard note that we were kind of longing for initially.
God, that's good. I miss the cereal notes. This was one of the Laphroaigs that I got a really nice golden barley cereal note with. And I got it in the other ones, and it's right here again. It's lost in the 25. I'm going to go back to the 25. The 25 is too too fruit forward comparatively. It gets really fruity and the peat's really low. 18 is such a nice little in between. Soda Meadows. I mean, Dustin, we could walk there. That's how close she is. I mean, you probably wouldn't want to walk. You could take it, it's probably a couple miles, but yeah, Soda Meadows is right down the street. It's closer than Fiesta Mariachi is. Let me put it that way.
Oh, gee, wow. I didn't realize Stacy was that close. I mean, that is down the street.
Absolutely. She's right down the street.
Okay.
Tacos and beer, Fiesta Mariachi, any of those places, she's even less of a drive.
All right. This has like 3 different layers, Mike. It's got that initial sweetness. I will say, and I've noticed this, I have like good days and bad days with mouthfeel.
Sure.
So we'll see how the 25 drinks. Today I'm thinking my mouthfeel maybe is a little on the thin side. But we'll find out, once we get into the other whiskeys.
You know what, man? On that note, I'm going to take a sip of the 25 just to see how it compares. That's a good call.
Yeah. So right now I'm coming up a little thin here, but it's a really nice sweetness, but it's not mind-blowing. Then you swallow, you get a really nice smokiness, richness, and a heavy mineral, a really heavy mineral. And then the finish, and it's all smoked, wood, fire, just all the good stuff of Laphroaig. And it's very long-lasting, very nice, and it's got my full tongue just in a really happy place.
Yeah. Now I'll say, when I just had the 25 here, again, that's cask strength. It's 51.9, so a decent amount stronger. It felt about viscosity-wise what I remember it feeling. So I think my palate in regards to viscosity is right there. I pass this house all the time. I live right in the corner of Holland and Long Ridge. You got to know where that's at.
Oh, God, 25 is good, dude. Oh, man.
Do you think the viscosity on the 25 is stronger? I do.
Oh, it kills it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the richness, the flavor. That 25 is way better whiskey. It should be. It's even back in the day, it was a $4.50 whiskey,
It was 4 times as expensive.
I'm talking like right now, like.
Oh yeah.
They've raised the price on the 25, but I'm saying like when this 25 came out, it was retail was $4.50.
Really?
Yeah, we found these for like $300, but that's because we found some really good deals on, UK exchange rates and all that other good stuff. That was always a $450 whiskey in the U.S.
All right, now I'm going to go back to. I poured another glass of the 18 that I don't have water in, so I'm going to go back to this and compare the mouthfeel.
Jason, that's actually why Mike got married. If you guys weren't aware, it's not because there was any kid situation. It was purely he needed somebody home to make sure the whiskey got inside.
On that note, if you do hear a baby cry, I do have a six-week-old baby.
Yeah, so. Did you want to announce the kid, Mike?
Oh, yeah. If you guys, I don't know if guys are kids here, but me and my wife had our first kid. Her name is Emma. She was 9 pounds 3 ounces. I told my wife, me and every one of my siblings are big people with huge heads. Like, you're gonna have a 10-pound baby. But she is cute as a button, and we could not be happier. Now, my wife hasn't really slept more than 5 or 6 hours straight in 6 weeks, and I don't know how up to date my sleep is, but it'll be worth it. That's what everyone tells me anyway. And as far as Mash and Drum, man, next time we get together, man, it's been a long time. You got to come see us.
Absolutely. I know Jason's got some good shit. He needs to bring some wild turkey next time he comes.
You said what bourbon? We were doing the Red Oak 20 and 25 the other day. You said you want to pass on, or was there another bourbon you said you had to get to that guy? I can't remember. I thought you said you wanted Jason to review if you hadn't got it. It was a bourbon we did. It was either
it was the Murray Hill.
Oh, batch 4. Yep. That was
yeah. If Jason can't get hold of that, we need to get him a little get him something so he can do a little something with it.
Yeah, Murray Hill batch 4 I was pretty impressed with. That was a cigar blend. That was a cigar blend.
Yeah, I agree. That brandy, man.
And I appreciate everyone saying congratulations. Yeah, I waited till I was 47 to have my first kid. No, it wasn't exactly planned. Like I tell everyone, Dustin, I'm a kid with an ant farm. I'm not planning anything. Just out here trying to have a good time. But we could not be happier. We could not be happier. She's a ton of fun. We're actually for a house on Orders Road. bought our house off of 665 and said, that's by the good Kroger, Dustin, just so you know. And
All
Orders
right.
Road is if you go back ways out of my house, it's right over there. So for the rest of you who don't know Grove City geography, you're welcome.
Yeah, there we go, Christine. Yeah, the cost of coming over next time you come over, Jason, just bring one of these over with you.
Heck yeah. Dustin will bring what's left of the Chateau Labad. Oh, what's up, Real Jazz? And the new
Don't
18-year-old.
make me open a Chateau Labad. Jason's got a chateau at home.
I tell you what, I am so happy this whiskey's back, Dustin. You know, I don't know what this when it reaches Ohio. I don't know what it's going to be. Again, it was about 111 with tax before. I mean, even if it's $180, that's what Lagavulin 12 is going for.
I'm
I
guessing
would love it.
probably 225 is my guess.
Woo, here in Ohio? Think it's going to be
I
that
mean,
high?
if it's 150, 60 pounds, yeah, it's going to be about 200 here.
I'm interested to see kind of where it settles. We had a similar thing with this year's Carchus. In our first round, we paid about 180 for them a piece with shipping. Second round, we paid 105.
Well, we paid over retail for sure for our cartridges. That was for sure an overpay when we first got them. We just wanted them immediately.
Yeah, oh yeah, as soon as we possibly could.
Man, okay, the 18 is not anywhere in the stratosphere of the 25, but I'm going to now get a little sip of the 10 and just sort of.
Yep, let's go to the 10.
Back to the level setting, you know.
Man, this 10 smells rich. I was kind of down on batch 15 of Laphroaig 10 cast strength. This smells so rich to me right now.
Yeah, well, I literally just cracked this, so trust Mike's opinion on his a little more than mine. Because this is literally a fresh crack. I swear I've got another bottle sitting around somewhere, but I couldn't find it, so I now have two open probably.
Yeah, I've had this open for a while.
Yeah, I'm unless I drank my last. Because I bought three of them, I thought, but maybe I bought two.
I tell you what, Christine, you have no idea how much you need sleep until you don't have it. I was one of those people like, I'll be fine. I tell you what, the first few days when you wake up every 2 hours, you're just a zombie out there. But I'm sure I'm not telling anybody and they don't know. The good Kroger. Yeah, just so you know, I don't know how long you've been in Grove City, but I grew up here from the time I was 12 years old. So the one on Stringtown Road, we call that ghetto Kroger. It has no place to park. We call the one on 665 the good Kroger. They have the better meats and cheeses, blah, blah, blah. Oh, look at Jason. He's making statements.
Well, he's only got one chateau left, so he's got to protect that son bitch.
Oh, I mean that whiskey for bourbon is like Lagavulin 25 for Scotch whiskey. Like, oh,
the perfect over the top finishing with the perfect base whiskey.
Oh,
and I'll go ahead.
And I would say, Donner, you could not. As far as our opinion of the Laphroaig, that Carchus, we could not recommend that highly enough. That thing is a stunner for a Carchus. Me and Dustin actually had a conversation about what the best Carchus we ever had was, and I thought, okay, so just so you know, this was for 30 years of Friends of Laphroaig. They did a 21 year for Friends of Laphroaig in the 21st year, which would have been 9 years ago, 2015 or whatever. And also, I think for the 200th anniversary. I don't think that was actually a Carchus bottle. I think that was just for Friends of Laphroaig. Assuming that's the case, this year's Carchus may be the best Carchus I've ever tried, or at least one.
I've never had that 2013 port. I've heard that one's incredible.
I think you're right. Did that come in yellow? A yellow?
I don't know. It was like burgundy purple or something like that, somewhere in between those two.
I think you're right.
I've heard nothing but good about that. I'd love to try. I don't know if we got any old school Carchus super fans out there who have a little that they might want to send our way at some point. Just put it out there.
Yeah, for sure. We definitely will. Is Laphroaig's Beam Suntory? I believe so. It was absolutely Beam Suntory for a long time. Unless that has recently changed, I would say sometime in 2024, that's still.
If you go read Jason Coates' comment, two down, it's now Suntory Gold Spirits or something, because the Japanese companies are now just getting rid of the American piece because they don't really give a shit about us.
Beam doesn't hold weight.
I honestly, I don't think they care.
Yeah, we had a good Japanese whiskey the other day. We had that Yoichi 10-year-old.
Yeah, that review's coming as well.
Yeah. Yeah, we got that review coming in about 10
We
days.
got a ton of reviews. We are so far ahead, guys, on reviews. So if anybody is waiting for something, like we're trying to get stuff out, but we've got like we've got 6 or 8 weeks in the queue. I mean,
it's into August. You know, that's why we wanted you the Laphroaig 18 on a quick live stream for you guys. We didn't want to sit on a review for 2 months before we get out to you guys. I was like, man, we haven't done a live stream in forever. Let's get on here, man. Let's talk about one of our favorite whiskeys.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing a bunch of people sending me notes. Like, I've had a couple people ask me about the 18 very recently. Everybody's like, "How is it?" And I'm like, "Man, I can't crack it." Mike and I are doing a live, and we didn't want to do it yesterday because Hello Again Whiskey Friends comes on, and then Jason Mash and Drum comes on, and it was like, man, I don't want to. First off, there's just no reason doing a live stream against Jason. I mean, he's got 500, 600 people in there. We'd have one person here chatting with us.
It wouldn't be Jason. He'd be doing something else.
Oh, if you've seen Jason, man, he could probably be chatting in here, watching us, and doing his own live stream, talking to a guest, and commenting on his chat. That guy's a freaking multitasker. It's wild.
I have 2 kids. Kids suck. Dustin, I don't think I'm getting a lot of argument from you there, am I?
Dude, I got nieces, nephews. I've been around kids. I have 3 younger sisters. That is definitely not on my bucket list. Although, you know, I'm not 47 yet, so I guess there's still time for mistakes.
Dustin was out over here a few weekends ago, and we were doing some whiskey reviews after my daughter was born. What did I tell you, man? She barely makes a noise, does she? She could not be a better kid.
Dude, you knock on wood, man. You're pretty lucky right now.
Oh, I have a great wife. She's great with kids. She was born to do it.
I'm talking about your kid. I mean, some kids are really, you know, they cry a lot. Yours is super quiet so far, but you know, I don't want to jinx it. All right, Mike, I'm going to go through a little nip of the lore, and I've got an opinion I'm about to give that I don't know if people are going to like this one, but I'll get to it.
All right, well, I had a little sip of the 10. The 10 comes off, it smells is really rich and everything else. The 10 comes off quite a bit rougher and so much more refined than the 18, which was always the 18's place. You know, when it went away, either had the cask strength 10 or I had the 25. So I either had in Ohio, they were $52 mispriced for years. So I either had a $50 whiskey or I needed a $450 whiskey. There was no in between other than lore. And why I'm a big fan of lore, it's just different whiskey. You add sherry to it. It changes it a little bit. And I'm a huge fan of bourbon cask Ardbeg, bourbon cask Lagavulin, and bourbon cask Laphroaig. I like them with sherry too, but you got to give me a well-aged Laphroaig, no extra sherry and maturation to see what it can do.
Well, Mike, we have the only man I know, and Matt here, who he doesn't have a whiskey room. He doesn't have a whiskey floor. He has a whiskey castle.
Yeah, I'd like to see a picture of that.
He literally has a whiskey castle. He started his own business doing whiskey tastings because he had over 1,000 bottles and needed to get the whiskey bottles out.
Great problem to have. Great problem to have.
So I got to say, kind of going through the whole lineup here. Let's take 25 out of the conversation for a second here, Mike.
Sure.
You're right.
Sure.
The 10 unrefined, but it has a spiciness and a punchiness to it that's beautiful. I absolutely love it. That's an A+ like note on that whiskey. The rest of the whiskey's, you know, Beeb whiskey. I mean, it's 10-year-old, whatever. Lore, that sweetness, the fruitiness, the juiciness coming through along with the spicy casks, really great. The 18 is the thinnest whiskey here. It's the softest on arrival. It's the weakest in flavor, but it makes up for it in an incredibly long, rich finish. This is the whiskey for late at night. You're going to have one glass, maybe 2, and you really want to spend some time savoring those notes. It really kicks well above its pay grade there, man. Wow. Excellent finish. But be advised, for those of you who don't like peated whiskeys that aren't punchy, don't kick you in the dick, this is the furthest. This is probably the softest and gentlest of the big three. So Ardbeg, Laphroaig, and Lagavulin. This is probably the softest whiskey I've ever had from any of them. Ignoring maybe like one of the 40% Laphroaigs, which I kind of put out of my mind and try to pretend they don't exist.
Yeah, we don't do the select.
Exactly.
Now, Dustin, yeah, I mean, first thing I thought, my first critique of this whiskey was the mouthfeel and the palate. Now, I will say this, it's 48% compared to all these other ones that are absolutely cask strength. Now, you have the lower, that's also 48%, but it does have a little bit of sherry maturation, so that can tend to give you the illusion of a thicker palate. I'm not saying it's definitely an illusion. I'm just saying it's hard to go. It's hard to get in there.
Cheers, Ben. Yeah, I should have sent you a text, buddy. I just posted on like one Discord. Mike and I scheduled this like 2 days ago, and honestly,
as soon as we got the bottles in our hands,
we just got to wing it, man. Hopefully, I don't know if anybody else is live tonight, so if we're crossing into anybody else's stream, oh well, there's too many people streaming.
Yeah, a lot of sword crossing in the whiskey community.
Oh man, actually, if Perry's live with my bourbon podcast, and he is doing the 15-star triple cask, which is freaking delicious. That's a good whiskey.
Look at Jordan Allison. Found one of the old white tubes back collecting dust for 99. Yeah, man, they were 104 plus tax in Ohio. I'll never forget. Dustin, remember when I went to go visit one of my cousins in Monroe, Ohio, which is basically halfway between Columbus and Cincinnati, a little bit closer to Cincinnati than Columbus. And my buddy who lives in Xenia told me to go visit this one liquor store, and they may have it. And they didn't have anything special, but behind the counter, I remember they had 6 extra white tubes. And I thought to myself, am I looking at that right? Not for $99. I mean, it was normal Ohio price, $111 out the door. I was like, the guy was like, how many you want? I'm like, how many you got? He was like 6. I'm like, I will take those all.
Since Ben's in the chat, he sent me this the other night. We were chatting. He sent me a text message. And this is a brand new, like this week, find for him in a store.
Laphroaig 18. How much is that? What's that price?
$399. $414.
$414. Woo.
Yeah.
The old green frog. Yeah,
if you guys don't know, he literally found it yesterday. So if you guys don't know Whiskey Uncensored, Ben down there, he goes and finds crazy ass stuff up in the New York area. He travels, 100 miles north, south, east, and west, looking for finds in stores, and there's a ton of stuff. Normally,
guys, the Lagavulin 12s, the 2013s.
Nah, it's another guy up there.
I tell you what, New York's the Wild West as far as whiskey.
Yeah, that independent Springbank, the purple box, that was from Ben.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Ben Spring. That was another good one too.
Yeah, Ben finds some. The stuff you really, really want, Ben generally finds it, but it's usually secondary pricing. But he'll find some stuff that's like like your second tier stuff. Sometimes still for original New York pricing, which was overpriced at the time, but now it's great. Oh yeah, Jason did get one of those Springbanks. All right, man. I tell you what, though, the nose on the 18 without water kills the 10 in the lower. The 25 is still. The 25 is magical, but
I tell you what. Okay, so I've had this other had the other 18 sitting here for a while. Had my Laphroaig chip on it. Mm-hmm. The vanilla and the oak note in this is so strong on the nose. Vanilla, oak. Again, I'll go back to golden cereal. Beautiful smoke. Like the smoke's still significant. You know what I mean? I tell you what, I used to love the way Master of Malt described Laphroaig 18 on their website. And it started out with, this is a beast of a whiskey. And that's exactly what the old one was. Now, I don't think this is quite the same beast. I think the casks impart a slightly more sour note than the old 18s. And, of course, we'll get to a comparison at some point. But
yeah,
it's pretty close.
Yeah, I'm not even there's an acidity coming up here, but now that I've kind of gotten my palate saturated a little bit in the Laphroaig world, it's not much. This is just really good whiskey, man.
You can tell this Laphroaig 18 has age, though. And that's what I always really liked about this one. We said earlier, it doesn't seem, or I said earlier, it didn't seem like the 25 was 7 years older than this. And I hold to that. On the nose, especially. It doesn't feel like it's a significantly older whiskey.
On the palate, it does, but on the nose,
I agree.
no.
I agree. And some of that probably has to do with cast strength.
But and I was about to say, the problem is, I mean, the 25's cast strength, it's so hard to compare.
And keep in mind, too, we just bottle popped this 18, so it's probably not showing its best. And we're going to let it sit for a while before we actually get to reviewing it.
I will say this. I do see a little bit of separation in the 18. These were hand-washed glasses, but I do see a little. I'm not even talking about the one with. You got the one with water. It's dirty as hell. Look at that.
Dirty as hell. I was going to mention that before. This isn't Bunnahabhain 12 cast strength 2022 as far as Scottish mist, but it looks dirty. It looks like dirty water.
Yeah, you guys can't see it on camera, but this is I haven't put water in this one, and I'm looking because I just poured. So I just repoured my second glass of this, and I can already see some like yeasty notes showing up here. Like it already has a little bit of cloudiness.
Yeah, this is the new 18 without water. This is the new 18 with water.
Yeah, I mean
it is significantly cloudier.
But I'm saying there's some clouds in there before you even add the water. And I'm looking at the 25. It is absolutely pristine, crystal clear. But one thing I am noticing, Mike, is the 25 has noticeably oilier. It's noticeably oilier. And you're just not going to be able to see that on camera, I don't think.
Let's talk a minute about the legs on the new 18.
I was just getting ready to say, let's kind of compare here. They're taking their time.
They're taking their time, but when they start coming, they run fast.
Yeah, the 25 legs are just slow. Yeah, you can.
They're way thicker. They're way thicker than 25.
Yeah, it's not going to want to focus on that because it's going to keep switching over to me. But yeah, the legs are a little runny.
The legs in the 10 are non-existent. Here they come.
Yeah, well, the alcohol.
Yeah, I mean, so again, it's not a cast strength whiskey. It's not going to be as oily as a cast strength whiskey. But let me ask you this, Dustin. We've always said we love 48% because we always thought 48% was enough compared to 46, where we say with, say, Ardbegs or Springbanks that it's leaving us wanting a little more. Part of the reason I think, at least for me, that I always said that 48 was plenty was just Laphroaig 18.
Yeah, so Ben, you were asking about that. So I forget the years, but I think 2009, Laphroaig first released the 18 in the green tube.
I thought it was 12, but I could be wrong.
I think it's 2013 they released the white tube 18.
Okay,
I think those are the only two releases that I've seen on Whiskey Base, unless they,
Yeah. Yeah, and again, people always said the green, they prefer the green one, and when I see on secondary sites use the green goes for a little bit more than the whites do. But I've had the green and the white, right? I don't know if we compared the green and the white, but they are.
I think one night we were just drinking together and you poured them both.
Yeah, they are identical as far as
we never did a review or anything. But I think we're pretty sure we did taste them both and couldn't.
Yeah, I think where we came with that, Dustin, was like, why are we going to do a review of the green versus the white tube when they are absolutely identical? All we're to say is they're the exact same.
I guess that's because that means they can do a consistent whiskey. Yeah. Oh my God, 25 is fucking delicious.
Oh, it is so good. I'll go back to it. I poured a little bit of water in it.
If I could go back in time, if I go back in time and just not buy every random $200 bourbon I bought that I wasn't sure was going to be good, and just put all that money into Laphroaig 25s, I'd be so much happier.
What did we used to say? We used to say, I want to buy a Laphroaig 25 every month of the year. Back when I could get them from that place in New York where they still ship to Ohio.
I mean, Jesus.
Like $329. I was like, you know what? I don't know why I'm not going to buy one of these every single month. Like, it is that good. Now, of course, we do have a decent amount of the 25s in different vintages, but we, what's other whiskeys, but one of our buddies, who am I thinking of?
Who's talking about another buddy out in Oregon, yeah.
Yeah, he was just like, Dan. He was like, I want 25 to be my daily drinker. And that dude has more 25s than anyone I know. It doesn't matter what 25 it is. You can go all the way down to like the the 2013 and 14 vintages that were 45.1, or up to 18 that was 52%. They are all such good whiskeys.
I don't know if we said hi to Jordan. So cheers, buddy.
Yeah, I was talking about something else. You mentioned something else earlier, but yes, absolutely
And
welcome.
I mean, an 18-year-old Springbank for $650. Yeah, buddy. 2018, that was the all sherry, but it was very refilled. That one
What was
was
the,
not very good on the neck, but man, that got good as it opened up.
me and Dustin love those 25s. That's about one of the best deals I can see on 25. What'd you get the 2016 25 for? The one that the port pipe finish one that I was a super big fan of.
It was on sale for $5 something.
Yeah, I think that was your best deal of any of them. But that was a long time ago. Dude, that's a great find.
Well, and about a
Chattanooga,
month
huh?
after I bought that, they sold it for $300. The last one they had for $300.
Mm,
I was sadly not there that day.
mm.
And oh yeah, Donner, you are not wrong, brother. You are not wrong.
What's your favorite, Donner? Me and Dustin have had this conversation quite a few times. I got a cast strength 2004 bottling. In my opinion, the 48-1 is still my favorite. But I got to admit, the 45-7, man, that thing
Right
smells
there.
incredible.
We got to get one of those fucking 26 or 46 percenters at some point, Mike. I know they're overpriced, but we got to just break down and do it.
I know.
I mean, if you buy them from the UK, their price is not so bad.
How does the 16 compare to the 18? Not favorably. 18 is a better whiskey.
Yeah, I've never had the
care what
16
18 we're
tape,
talking
so I
about.
can't comment, but I was not impressed with that one. From everything I've heard, the notes, everybody's tasting notes on the 16 was not that.
I tell you what, Dustin,
Special.
I went into Chicago one time. For those of you who don't know, I'm originally from Illinois. So I got a lot of relatives back in both Chicago, Naperville, and the Quad Cities, if you guys know any of that area. So I have gone back. We were going back to Chicago a couple of years ago, and I ran into a store, and they had the 16. They had a bunch of one of the Benny's. I think Benny's Lakeshore, if I'm not mistaken. The one I took you to when we went to Chicago. Great. Benny's Lakeshore.
Yeah, the nice one we bought it.
Yeah. But they had the 16 there one time when I was there without you, and it was $85. But I had it once, even at $85. I was like, it's just 16 was okay. You know what I mean? It's nothing that I want to write home about. It's not a Karches. It's not the 18, the 25, or even the cast strength 10s, in my opinion.
Yeah, I told myself I'd only buy it if it showed up locally, and I think they came and went so fast here that I didn't even see it. And whatever.
Oh, really enjoying. Yeah, for sure, bro. Yeah, right with you. It wasn't their best offering. I think the 16 was 48% ABV, which is nice, but it just, I was hoping for something close to where the old 18s were, and I was, which is pretty much what this new 18 is. Pretty close, not exactly on, maybe a point less or so.
Well, Ben, crack that Hazelburn you have. You got a Hazelburn, right? 13 or something?
Oloroso?
Yeah, he's got one of the Oloroso Hazelburns, man. He's got one of the hitters.
Yeah, those are good, man. Even if you just want a really well sherried whiskey, those things are hitters.
Yeah, but don't say unfortunately when you got one sitting in the library, as a lot of us call it.
I tell you what, man. I added a little bit of water to this 10 cast strength batch 15. Whew, man, this has a heck of a nose on it.
Yeah, I added water to mine pretty early on because it was just a little too punchy next to the 18.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean it's sweet. It's actually a little bit of bacon grease notes coming off, like kind of burnt bacon grease.
Yeah. There is something stuck to the skillet.
Yeah. It's not like bacon. It's something like next day off the skillet, but it's nice little smokiness.
Man. What's Donner talking about here?
Highland Park 25.
Probably, yeah. Phil and Deep are good people, man. They're so generous with all their samples.
Oh, well, they set up basically for their Patreons. They basically anything they had open, there was for their cost shipped to you samples.
It's nice.
Okay, they were selling Barora samples, man. I called you about one. We were like, that's maybe not the one to get. And I was like, all right, but it's available and it's at cost.
Was it the 34 year?
37.
I don't know. I think it was a 34 year, but that was an off profile one. The 38 year was the one that I really wanted.
I think it was a 37, not 38, but still, it was. The problem is
Yeah,
Brewer is
there's
brutally
something.
expensive, even at an ounce at cost.
Oh, them and Port Ellen, the two most brutally priced scotches that I really want to have more of. And I don't know what's worse, Brewer or Port Ellen. They're both just.
Well, the price on Brewer is worse. I mean, they're much more expensive.
You think?
Oh yeah,
I've never seen a Port Ellen that in retail because we get them in Ohio. I haven't seen any release in the last 10 years that wasn't $2,500.
I haven't seen a Brewer under $3,000.
Man, you're probably right. That sounds right.
I mean, if they are, man, they're not often. Well, okay, Jason's got a point because they're still releasing a lot of Port Ellen in the 40 plus range, and they've gotten to the point where it's just a joke.
Oh, they're brutal, man. They're brutal.
I haven't seen a lot of Brewer releases lately. Like I haven't seen any Brewer in a while.
I haven't. Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of Brewer. Period.
Man, I'll tell you what, this is growing on me. It's actually getting better as I sip, man.
18.
Yeah, it is noticeably getting better because it's just so, oh man, so nice.
I like this comment. You ain't wrong.
Yeah, but now that the Port Ellens are getting into the 40, they're now part of that new Prima and Ultimum series from Diageo, which is just stupid priced everything there. I mean, it's just.
You see a Lagavulin 28 year? Woo.
29 year, you mean?
No, not this year. Not the new 29.
Oh, you're talking. Okay, yeah. The Prima.
The Prima that was the 28 year with a little star right in the middle of it. That was like $4,000. I was saying, great Lagavulin, I'm gonna find a way to drink, and I might.
I heard the 26 Prima they put out was incredible from a couple people.
Yeah, I really like to get my hands on some of those.
Yeah, they're just too expensive to, and I don't know which one to get. It's like they put out a bunch of them in a fairly quick period of time. I'm like, I don't even know which one if you were gonna splurge and drop $4,000, which one do you get?
Amen. Right. You know what I mean? And
I don't know people who have access to them, like to tell you or.
Correct.
And, unfortunately, believe it or not, guys, we don't make enough money with the channel to just go buy those. It'd be great.
We don't even go to the channel to buy Laphroaig 10 regular 43%.
I mean, let's be blunt here. We don't make enough of the channel to pay my gas to go up to Mike's to do the videos.
We do it for the love.
And I'm not talking wear and tear and maintenance on my car. I just mean driving gas money. And unlike Mike, I got a performance 4-cylinder. I don't have a V8.
This 25 smells incredible.
Yeah, So I enjoyed putting a little bit of water on the 18 because it opened up the fruitiness, but I gotta say, neat is the way to do it. I still can't believe you guys can't see it, but there's little bits of like swirling clouds in here that from like just kind of inconsistencies. This is actually an impressive, really impressive. I would love to see Ralphie review this, but I'm sure he won't because of the price.
Look at, man, this is the other 18 that I have. And look at how, you're right, it's just gritty comparatively.
Yeah. Like this is like classic, old school Scotch. Good on them, man.
Yeah, what does it say about the filtration process here? I think it says barrier filtered, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see.
Which is what everybody does, but you can always tell like there's clear differences in certain brands barrier filtering. Like some, and also again, we could just, I'm sure our bottles came from the same part. We're in the same case, same part of the cask. Like we've got them pretty close together, so it's maybe we got the bottom of the vat. Who knows?
Yeah, Dustin, it's saying on the back of this box, our 18-year-old is the pivotal moment in Laphroaig's coming of age. At 18 years old, the whiskey expresses a richer complexity that keeps building over time. And I would agree with that statement. While staying true at heart, the vanilla note apparent in the 10-year is amplified, complemented by sweetness of ripe fruits, ginger, and honey, and a hint of fresh mint leaves against the deeper, woodier, toasted flavor.
They
I
seem
like
to
that
say
description.
ginger on every new release they've done, and I can't say I get ginger here. I buy the ginger note on the cartridge. I don't know why this one says ginger.
You know what, Dustin? As you know, I'm a big fan of sushi, and I have my buddy Paul, him and my buddy Tim. We do sushi together at least once a month, if not 2 times a month. So a couple times I'll go back to that ginger that they give you with sushi. It's there, man. It really is. I
So
never concentrate on that note before, but it really is there.
so ignore the fact that my box. I'm pretty sure this is dirt on the box, not part of the design.
Definitely.
The boxes we got shipped, guys, definitely took a beating before they got to us. But I've noticed Laphroaig's done this on these new boxes. This one says it tastes like vibrant herbal peaty.
Mm-hmm.
I was probably saying that the reference to herbal was probably herbal or however you want to say it. But I was kind of referencing that to the minerality notes, probably what I'm getting there. But I mean, I'll believe you that there could be hints of ginger in here, Mike. But there's just spices. I mean, it's got a nice little bit.
Ginger and mint, I guess, sometimes they'll go together. And I agree there's a little bit of mint here too. Especially now that this 18 has been sitting open for an hour now, that I poured right at the beginning. Man, I tell you what, it's getting there, Dustin.
We got another one of our big commenters, man. Alpha Crown. And I've never zoomed in on your picture, man. I don't know if I respect the cigarette choice there. If it's a cigar, that'd be cool. But I don't know about a cigarette. Maybe he's got $100 bill on fire and he's smoking looks like a cigarette. Come on,
maybe
man.
it's a Winston. If it's a Winston, I'm right there with him.
Well, fair enough. There you go.
My great-great-grandfather who wrote me out of the will.
Winston tastes good like a cigarette should.
I remember that. It's a comment many times.
The sad thing is I know that commercial from watching like Nick at Night as a kid. And apparently they decided to throw in some vintage commercials that included cigarettes on Nickelodeon, essentially.
Yeah, it's a different world now, Dustin. Different world. I tell you what, I mean, this, lining up the 10 and the 18 and the 25 right here back to back, there was something to appreciate really with all of these whiskeys. I have always been a huge fan of this distillery. And I am so happy the 18's back. And with the 25, 18, and 10 cast strengths, these are good regular offerings if the 18 is indeed a regular yearly offering.
Yeah. Yeah, we are expecting the 18 to be a U.S. release and to be a regular release, but it's Laphroaig. They could change their mind at any time. So, but for now, I would expect that we will see in the U.S. and I do expect we will hopefully get another batch of this, at least one more.
You know what? If I have to buy them from overseas, we gotta buy them from overseas.
Now, I wanted to comment on something you just talked about, Mike. The 25 year.
Yep.
As much as I love it, I've got to say, if you're a Laphroaig fan, this isn't Laphroaig.
It's awfully fruity and sweet.
It is a very different experience. And the thing is, once you learn to like this, once you have this one and you fall in love like I did, the 18 is a transition because it gives you at least the finish, at least the smoky, like long lastingness, the depth. And then it all falls into like just beautiful, everything great for this. And yeah, buddy, nah. Expect it to be pushing 200, probably a little over 200.
We'll see. We'll see when it all shakes out.
Yeah, it's too expensive over in the UK for it to come here at that price. Although the Bruichladdich 18, which we're going to review at some point, we haven't done it yet.
Yeah, but we're super impressed with that Bruichladdich 18, guys.
Yeah, that one came in at a much better price than I expected because they came in actually cheaper for me to buy it local than over in Europe, which is crazy. That's never the case.
Because we were going to skip that. We got the Port Charlotte 18. We were going to skip the Bruichladdich.
I was not going to pay. I don't like Bruichladdich enough to spend the $225 I was expecting it to be, or $250, and then it came in at $175, and I said, "Oh, that's less than 10 a year, and it's 50%. I'll give it a shot."
Glad we did.
By the way, they've already announced a new Port Charlotte 18 for next year, Mike. different ABV, different cask maturation.
What's the ABV?
It's going to come down to around 51.5, 51.6, something like that.
You can have it.
It's still cask strength, I'm pretty sure. It's just they, came in a little lower.
And Dustin, the new Glencairn jug, I think it's going to be a nice addition.
Yeah, if you guys remember, I went out and picked up a Glencairn pipette. We used it for like 4 episodes. And then this goofy, clumsy guy over here decided that after literally pouring 15 drops of filtered Fiji water into our glasses, he needed to wash it in the dishwasher and broke it.
I broke it. I broke it getting it out. Like, try to do it by hand. You know I'm a barbarian, man. I break everything I touch.
All right, Mike, you're breaking up a little bit here, buddy. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, we'll give it a minute.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine. But yeah, it was funny. I mean, again, it's no big deal. I only paid like $12 or $14 for that thing. It wasn't an expensive addition to the channel. But Mike saw this one, got super excited, and I'm like, "What are we doing? Ralphie pours the water here, man." But it's probably going to work out real well for us, and it'll be something Mike can clean without breaking it. Because the pipette, to be fair to Mike, where the hell do you put that thing? Like, that's the one thing I always thought. Like, where do you put that? Like, do you put it in with your glasses? Do you put it with your silverware? Where do you put that?
I put it in with my Glencairn.
That's the one thing. I'm almost like just have to put it in a Glencairn. You just have like a Glencairn with a pipette sticking out. Like, I don't know what you do with it otherwise.
Yeah, that's what you do with it. This whiskey jug, I can just put right with my other Glencairns. It'll be fine.
I tell you what, Donner, you're not wrong. It is such an easy drinker. It's got so much flavor, but no alcohol at all. And when you're drinking it, it's just like, oh, you could just kill that thing so fast. In fact, I haven't shown you this, Mike, because I don't take it with me. But this is the packaging that comes on the outside of the Brook Light, and like this little piece here just kind of fills over. It's like recycled paper. Like,
is that a magnet?
No. It just fits over it and it just snaps on. Like, I guarantee you, if you get this thing wet, it's gonna fall apart. So I just took it off because I'm like, you know what, this is junk.
Dustin, hear me out on this. Since we're a little bit over an hour here, what do you say we give everyone a little sneak preview of the new cartridge, if you have that around? You want to pour one of those?
I mean, we can. Sure.
Yeah, hold on a second. Let me grab mine. Give me 1 second. Keep them going.
Yeah, let me go grab mine too.
All right, so for those of you who aren't if they know about this cartridge, this one finally came with an age statement. It's not cask strength, but it's a mix of the triple wood and the PX cask. Again, we have this review coming out next week. So it's basically ex-bourbon, ex-quarter cask, ex-oloroso, I believe, and XPX.
Yeah, this is, and the funny thing is everybody's referring to this as the cask favorites. And once again, as you guys see, tastes like ginger fruit peat. Like I don't know who's coming up with these like 3-word descriptions, but it's a little silly.
I get the ginger, man.
I'm with you. Well, I mean, and I get the peat, Mike. Mm-hmm. Shocking. Laphroaig tastes like peat.
Yeah, no. Who would have thought?
All right, so I'm going to rock. I just happen to have this sitting out clean. This is from Bourbon on the Banks. Cool event in Frankfort, Kentucky. It's, that they pour you a bunch of mediocre whiskey for probably more than it's worth to go there. And then you go to the after party where you drink the best bourbons and scotches you've ever had because people come and bring good whiskey.
New cartridge is
good.
Yeah. We'll be gone fast as the PX. No, I agree.
We might be going faster, man. If any shows up here local, I'm buying more. I've already got 4.
Yeah, Gus and I hit this hard. We both got 4 apiece, and we're gonna absolutely tear them up if we possibly can. What's I gonna say? Genius that led to 2 previous batches. I love the PX one. I tell you what, where the PX was chalky sherry, chalky PX. I'm telling you what, this new 10 cartridge, full ripe fruits. Like that extra years, did so much to it.
Well, and they did proof it down just slightly. It's at 52.4, which ends in 2.4 for the year 24. Yeah, this is just it. They added this level of juiciness to it that's freaking amazing. I mean, they nailed this one, Mike. And
look how dark that is.
And that color's real, guys. They could have put some coloring in there. It didn't matter.
That's the
dude. That got so cloudy there, Mike. That's impressive.
I know. Look how cloudy that 18 is.
Yeah, that actually is Boona 12 cloudy levels because Boona is sherried, so of course it looks cloudy. And an Alpha Crown, you're right about the age statement makes a difference, but also I don't believe this is 10-year-old whiskey. I think
there's older whiskey.
I think the youngest is 10, but I think there's older whiskey in here. I think there's maybe 15-year. I really do think there could even be 18-year-old whiskey in here.
But your statement is absolutely correct. Your statement of age makes a difference. You ain't wrong. And again, like with Laphroaig, with any Islay whiskey, 10, 12 years old is all it really needs to be. You got a good cask maturation. You're going to give it a good ABV. Dustin and I have had many conversations about that. I don't care if it's Ardbeg, Laphroaig, Lagavulin. Give me a 10 or 12-year-old offering at cask strength or at least 50% or 48. Man, how good would Ardbeg 10 cask strength be? Like 1 or 2. They did that like once or twice, like back in 08 or something like that. I'm sure that was amazing.
They did one release of that, Mike. It was Japan only, and it was 800 bottles or 1,200.
I still want one, Dustin.
I do too.
It still lived. The dream still lived.
It's out. They did exist. It was. I was on Whiskey Base, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Ooh. I tell you what. This is lore. This is the cartridge. If you want barbecue smoke sherry, get lore. If you want to have the first truly fruity Laphroaig, like red fruit Laphroaig, not dry and all that stuff up front, just beautiful, unbelievable stuff. God,
you know what I said about this new PX cartridge? It reminds me of the Port Charlotte PCM. Yeah, we would love for Ardbeg to actually listen to somebody. They are not listening.
Yeah, well, they're run by Louis Vuitton, whose customers are split.
Are you used to overpaying? Used to overpaying for what they.
Well, but they're also split into two distinct groups of people. The people who want to flash wealth who don't have it, and they get the bags that have LV written 6,000 times on it, so no one can miss that it's a Louis Vuitton.
I get the billboard.
And those who actually are wealthy and want quality, and they get the Louis Vuitton that has no logo on it whatsoever, except maybe like one little spot where it's, there. And they believe that Ardbeg drinkers are all part of that first group of people who want loud, flashy, and in your face, look at my brand. And
what did I compare that to, Dustin? People who went to Notre Dame. Now, if you went to Notre Dame, you're a smarter guy than I am. But every person I've ever met that went to Notre Dame will tell me they went to Notre Dame in the first 2 minutes I met them. I can go up, we can talk about anything. Hey, man, how you doing? We can talk about whiskey. Like, hey, what's your favorite whiskey? I'm an Islay fan. Here we go over there. By the way, I went to Notre Dame. That has nothing to do with any part of the conversation, but I'll know that in the first 2 minutes.
I worked for a company where going to Notre Dame was, within my department especially, was highly coveted because one of the higher-ups went to Notre Dame, and he was very proud of his alma mater, and he made sure Notre Dame grads got promoted first.
My uncle and one of my nieces both went to Notre Dame. Now, my niece isn't as big about him. My uncle, I mean, it was the golf shirts, it was the hats, it was everything. Hey, and I'm happy that you're proud. I'm just saying, every person I know went to Notre Dame has told me they went to Notre Dame in the first 5 minutes I met them.
And it's not that you're going to Mind you, Ohio State's a good school too. It's not like you went to a shitty school. I went to a shitty school. You know what? It doesn't really matter in the real world.
No, I went to a football school. That's all. That's all I like to say.
I went to a basketball school. You know what sport I like to
There you
watch?
go.
Basketball.
Yeah. You know what I like to do? Tailgate and hang out at football games.
I went to the MIT of basketball, okay?
What do you got down in here? Blended Boone at 12, independent bottling. These guys are heavily peated cask, killer together.
You know what sounds really interesting, Mike?
Give it to me.
We're going to do it.
Give it to me. What do you got? All right, Dustin. Let's get down. Let's drink some sherried whiskey. Drink some sherried whiskey to end this thing. You know what? I'm going to grab one more sherried Laphroaig.
No, here's what I'm going to do, Mike. I'm going to take this guy here. We're going to blend him.
With the Boone?
Yeah.
All right, hold on a second.
Not a big glass here. Just, I'm just pouring a little extra drop in here.
Let me get something else, Dustin, that will be some fun.
Okay, I'll tell you what, man. This cork came out so fast, I thought I broke the cork. I was like, oh, son of a bitch. Right. And then, as always, the first rule of drinking Boone at 12 cast strength, you always add a little bit of water to it.
All right, I'm not going Boone to cast strength, Dustin. I'm going to go. Keep it Laphroaig. Laphroaig all night.
Oh, okay. You're going high-end here.
Director's cut.
Well, I was in the Donner's blending discussion. I said, you know what? I'm going to do a little blending. Why not?
You know what I want to do? I want to see if a $120 bottle of Laphroaig and $900 bottle of Laphroaig that are heavily sherried and peated, what's the difference? And I forgot a glass. Isn't that what people want to know, Dustin?
I don't think Mike's going to blend that one, Alpha Crown. He's just going to compare.
Yeah,
I will use the cartridge for a little bit of blending because it's Boone at 12 cast strength. Two exceptional whiskeys. I think they're going to work together. And yeah, Alpha Crown, we talked about it earlier. We were talking about the here's an old 25 year with the plastic cap, and the new 18 with the wood. Same with the cartridge. Definitely liking what they're doing. And also, anybody whoever you cut off one of these little tops to a whiskey bottle, they make perfect water pours. So you can just dip it into your water glass and just do a little dip. You don't have the fancy one Mike's got. So if you're ever in a pinch like I am, because I didn't bring over a dropper or anything, they work.
Dustin, how close do you think I was to breaking this Glencairn whiskey jug when I washed it initially?
I hope not too close, but I never knew with you.
You know I was.
Dude, by the way, so I hand washed all these Glencairns before we got on stream. Mm-hmm. Dude, that new dryer stone is incredible. The craziest thing was, so I just washed them, right, and just put them completely as wet as they could on that thing. And then I was like, when I got done, I went back and took a paper towel, did a quick dry out. Boom, boom, boom. The craziest thing is when you pick it up off the thing, it actually pops.
Oh, I know.
It's just a weird seal.
Okay, so what me and Dustin are talking about is my wife bought these MoMA drying stones.
MoMO.
Yeah, and they are incredible. I turned my boss on to them, everyone, the last couple of weeks. So basically, I always hand wash my Glencairns. And I put them face down, on a stone. I wash 4 or 5 at a time. And then, and then I'll stop and I'll dry a few. When you turn them up down the stone, it fizzles, it's sucking the inside of the water right off the thing. It is incredible. If you guys hand wash this stuff, you got to try it. We better afford to make their cork.
Yeah, I just covered that.
We talked about.
I just covered it while you were doing your ball.
Sorry about that.
Oh no, just.
All right.
I'll tell you what, man, this is fucking delicious. By the way,
I have a 22-year-old Laphroaig Elixir Distilleries Director's Cut in this new cartridge PX. I'm gonna tell you.
Oh my God.
This new cartridge PX is such a dude. I cannot recommend this whiskey highly enough. This new cartridge is an absolute showstopper. When was the last time I've been this excited about $100 whiskey or $120 whiskey? It was Boona 12 cast strength 22.
Yeah.
Those were the like that in 2022 was the bang for your buck whiskey for, especially if you're an Isla fan. This Carchus, anyone who's still 25, you're still listening. This Carchus is the bang for your buck Isla whiskey this year. I will bet my name on it. That thing is a stunner.
Yeah, and David's saying he's on the fence. I'll go even further, David. If you can't get this for retail and you have to pay a premium, do it.
Me and Dustin have got 4. We paid. I worked a guy.
We paid just under $200 for the first 2 each.
Correct, each to get it shipped and everything to get them quickly.
Yeah, with shipping.
We found other for a better deal, but I mean, I am not. It's $200 whiskey all day long. I'm super happy we got the next 4 at $105 per. But it is absolutely positively $200.
We got a steal on the second 2, but I mean, it's so good. You are not going to be disappointed at that bottle unless you pay. You have to get into the 300 plus to start being disappointed.
Dude, I am telling you, Dustin,
they buy every fucking bottle they have. Just clear the shelf.
If it's reasonable, if it's 150 or under, clear the shelf.
No, he just said it's 110. He says 110 at Total Wine. Clear the shelf.
Oh, clear the shelf.
Clear the shelf.
As many as you can afford to buy. It is that good a whiskey.
Yeah, I mean, worst case, you end up with extras. I guarantee you got whiskey friends who will gladly pick up a bottle off you.
This is one of them.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I'm going to buy it. If they show up local, I'm buying more. 4 is not enough.
Yeah,
I just want my credit card cycle again so I can pay it off and then buy them all again. Another paycheck or 2,
I think I bought 3 of the Boona 22s, if I'm not mistaken. About that, you know what I mean? And I should have bought a case. You know what I mean? That's going to be great whiskey. I'm always going to like that whiskey. It's cast strength. It's heavily sherried. It's a distill I like. What's not to like?
There you go, Teddy, man. If it's $100 this year, buy it. Last year's Carchus, I didn't even try it. It just that did not sound good to me. White wine. Laphroaig does not have a good history using wine casks, in my opinion. They've not done it well.
What have I said, Dustin? They're hit and miss. I've had sherried Laphroaigs that I did not like at all. The regular PX, there have been plenty that I did not like. Sometimes sherrying Laphroaig doesn't go to weather at all.
I want to pick up the 10-year PX. I want to try one of those. I mean, it's cheap enough. It's 48%.
It's not that good.
Yeah, sometimes but it could be one I do blending explorations. Like this little blend right here is delicious, by the way. The Boona 12 and the Carchus, this is incredible, actually.
All right, so I'm going to try the Carchus and then the director's cut. Then I'm going to mix them.
Oh, there you go. I was wrong. Awful Crown. Mike is going to mix a $900 whiskey. Oh my God!
We're gonna mix it loose too. All right, so I just had another sip of that Carchus. Man, the sherry punch is so obvious. Tobacco. Name me another whiskey that you got that deep of a tobacco leaf note from, which I love in whiskey. Then this Carchus, new Carchus 10-year-old.
I mean, old bourbons sometimes will do it for sure, but yeah, I mean but you're talking Scotch. Linkwood 37 year, maybe. I mean,
I said something close to 10.
I don't know.
You ain't getting those notes anyplace else.
That's what I'm getting at is no, you don't get tobacco on 10-year-old, which is why I think there's got to be some old whiskey in there. They've got to have snuck some old stuff in there.
I cannot agree with you more, Dustin. There is no way this Carchus, the oldest whiskeys are 10 years. The oldest whiskeys in this at least have to be 12, and it wouldn't shock me if they were 14 or 15 years old.
I would be shocked if there's not some 15 in there, Mike. I would literally be shocked if there's not something at least 15 in that. It may just be 1 or 2 casks. It may not be a ton, but they put something in there that give it that extra age note. Because, like, truth be told, when it first hits your tongue and your palate, it's sharp, it's a little spicy, it's a little youthful. I mean, it's 10-year-old whiskey. But then when you get into the finish and the depth, it is so not young whiskey. Like it's like as you go through the experience, it's so old. Yeah, you guys are I'm telling you, you're gonna love it.
That's the reason why I grabbed this director's cut. It has a similar tobacco note, but at 22 years old. Huge difference, Dustin.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. You're right, man. If it is only 10-year-old whiskey, then I mean, they found some magical casks, and I mean, for a 30-year anniversary type thing, maybe they would. But I just think they would. I just think for that, they probably wouldn't grab some older casks.
They're going to bring out some good guns. You know what I mean? They're going to bring out some good whiskeys.
They went and found those casks they were going to sell for like $5,000 in part of those single cask series that are just overpriced as hell, and said, we're going to put it into the cheap stuff because we really want to put out something, put our name behind it. Dude, this Boone and Laphroaig is incredible. Dude, I'm blown away here. It's just the most beautiful experience of rich, over-the-top sherry. But like the Boone is a little too gritty for me sometimes. And the Laphroaig brings in the sweetness and the peat, and it just, it's perfect.
Okay, that director's cut is still a hell of a whiskey, Dustin. It's still a hell of a whiskey. There's a reason it's $800
man. I didn't like it as much as you did, but I think I still gave it a 90 or something.
I think I'm going to send my boy Mike B, one of these. The guy who sent us samples. Polish that off, send those couple guys try it out because that's excellent whiskey.
I think come up with something weird for Mike B, like something off the wall that he wouldn't expect. Doesn't know I own, one of those kind of fun ones.
All right, so this is the Laphroaig Cartridge, which is quarter cask, bourbon cask, Oloroso, and PX, and this director's cut, which is Oloroso sherry, 22 years old, also cask strength. And Dustin, this smells amazing. It's just so much sherry, so much Laphroaig.
Look at the darkness on it, man.
It's dirty. It's sooty. Oh, incredible. It's red. You get some red berries in here. Red berries, tobacco leaf, mint, a nice little white chocolate that I also get in this cartridge. I get a little white chocolate on the tobacco note. Incredible.
Dude, my palate is so saturated with that Laphroaig rich smoke. Man.
It's all Laphroaig.
Oh man, this is epic. God. What a good night for drinking, guys.
All right, I'll take some of this.
What a night for drinking.
Dustin, it's my one day off the gym. It's my one day out. I don't work out. Usually I cut the grass. It's been so hot here. Didn't feel like cutting the grass tonight. Could not be a perfect night. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. It always makes it fun to drink with friends.
Man, Mike, we saw like 24 people. I don't know what the peak was, but the number biggest I saw was 29. So, man,
I saw 30.
Hanging out, chilling with us.
Absolutely. I saw 35 at one point. They were in the 30s for a while, but we always appreciate everyone who can stop in.
Yeah.
I told her
still hanging out. She hasn't said anything in a while. She's just been chilling, hanging out, probably drinking some awesome whiskeys.
Yeah, Christine, seriously, reach out to me. Send me an email when this is all done, and we can exchange information. I'd love to have you out the next time you come here. Bring some bourbons, or
Christine's different. It's Four Leaf was the one local.
Oh, I'm sorry, Four Leaf. Forgive me. Christine's in Oregon. Is that right?
Yeah, she's in Oregon. Yeah.
She's in Oregon. Okay.
She has got she has a collection, buddy. She's got some good stuff.
I wish we could all get together.
She's diversified. Whereas Stacy's the Irish, the Irish queen. Christine's got all kinds of good stuff, man.
I am stunned. She lives in the neighborhood just right down the street, Dustin. That is incredible.
I didn't realize she was that close. I thought she was a little further away. I would have said she'd come over sooner, man. We'll definitely have to hit her up.
I'm a walker and a jogger, Dustin. I'm telling you, I could jog to her house in 10, 12 minutes.
That's crazy.
Exactly. Like you go to the front of my neighborhood, you take a right, you go over the bridge, you're right there on the left.
Yeah, we'll have to get her over because, man, she's got some crazy stuff. Yeah. Yeah, Christine is she's a I've you know she's a Springbank. I've actually gotten her some Springbank in the past. In fact, she actually got me my first Stag Junior.
Really?
Oh well, okay, no, second. My first one, like in my once I really got into whiskey, like I had a Stag Junior like way back when I was just kind of like dabbling more. But she got me the first one like when I was really chasing it, and she got me one of my first Elijah Craig barrel proofs. Not my first, but one of my first.
Christine, so I collected the Elijah Craig barrel proofs until they went away from the 12-year-old age statement. Like I literally, just how many unopened do you think I have? Elijah Craig 12 barrel strings, 15.
I got 12.
Yeah, 12, 15. It's a big number, big number. I love.
Yeah, she hooked me up back in the day when they were sitting on the shelf. I remember I said, "Hey, yeah, I'd love to get one of those." She goes, "Which batch?" And I'm like, "What do you mean, which batch?" Just whichever one's on the shelf. She said, "Well, there's a couple."
Hey, look, I like that A119 really well, but I know you told me I was wrong about how great that one was.
Oh no, it's a great one. I just think there's a couple better. I mean, oh, sorry.
No worries. Yeah.
We both clicked on the same message, and apparently double clicking removed it.
You ain't wrong, Jason Coates, brother. You ain't wrong.
And then we have Bourbon. He's formerly known as, and yes, we know, Ben. You probably have 120.
I love that, Ben. How long was it before my buddy and coworker Adam? How long was it before I realized that dude had more whiskey than I did? We probably worked together for 3 or 4 years, and I was talking to something about scotch, and I was like, "Yeah, man, I got a few hundred bottles." Just that, and he was like, "Yeah, I got about 6." I'm like, "600?" And he was just like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh my god!" I was the one brag. I was the one that didn't want to brag, and then there he was.
Yeah, that's one of the funny things is with on the whiskey tube, we all have a ton of whiskey. Mike's probably on the low end in terms of bottles, and probably on the higher end in terms of average price per bottle. And then there's legitimately, I want to know who's got more bottles, Adam or a Mash and Drum.
I've seen both their collections, man. I'm gonna say Adam.
Well, you got to remember. You haven't, Mike, because Jason didn't take you to a storage room.
He did not, and we haven't been to Jason's house in a couple of years. So it may be completely different now.
It was about a year and a half ago.
About a year and a half ago, yeah.
Well, but he has a storage room. So
in the back, to the right. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, well, he has 3 shelves of backup bottles, and they're 6-foot tall shelves.
We have to do a count sometime, Dustin. Yeah, that's the nice thing too. For those of you that don't know, Jason also is another Columbus guy. So just like 4-leaf, you know what I mean? There's actually quite a lot of us right here in Columbus, which is nice. And he's always been a ton of fun. Jason has the Under the Stairs whiskey, she said. The people under the stairs. Hey, you're going to his basement one way or the other. I can't believe I didn't notice it walking down.
Well, yeah, you didn't. Well, and then Jason's also got he's got stuff upstairs in the kitchen area and stuff. I don't think you probably saw. Although he may have moved it.
Oh, Peter, man, look! I tell you what. What have I always told you about Liquor Hound, Dustin?
That guy's got the most expensive whiskey collection I've ever freaking seen.
Sure, but what have I always told you about Whiskey Hound?
I can't remember last time we talked about him.
He has my favorite whiskey review of all time.
Oh, yes.
He reviewed Lagavulin 21, 1985, Lagavulin 21, 2012, which is the 1991 vintage, and Barora 30-year-old vintage 19, I want to say 77 or 78. And that, to this day, is my favorite whiskey review. I remember when I was trying to get my Lagavulin 21s, I was like, I wonder if anyone knows the difference between Lagavulin 21s. And Liquor Hound had a thing. I was like, I got all these 21s and a Barora 30. What else do you want? And I remember thinking oh.
So speaking of Ben here, he's going live in half an hour, guys, so definitely check him out. And Mike, you know that Chevy Corvette?
Yeah, I got it right here.
That's where it came from, buddy.
That Chevy Corvette's right here, and this is glass, by the way. This isn't crystal, so we're not going to die later. Oh my God, Dustin!
It smells great, doesn't it?
It smells so good.
Yeah, well, we need to get Adam and Jason over there so we can crack that open with them and have them taste it.
Bubble gum sweetness, caramel, carnival caramel, and bubble gum sweetness. We put this. My nephew got me a glass decanter right here. I love this stopper. I love like how the glass kind of foams up right there. But yeah, that's this crystal decanter. We still have that here.
Yeah, but so yeah, Ben's the reason I got that. I won a little charity event, and he was the one who donated that to the charity.
That's a cool bottle, man. We thought that was so cool. My dad always collected older cars, like my whole life. So like even in the older car thing, and my dad actually had a few of these kind of rare style Jim Beams and some type of collectible things. So it really kind of brought me back, man. That was a really cool thing. He owns every old ton. 1401? Is that what we're talking about?
That's 1401 tons?
Actually,
what else are you talking about with tons?
Not spelled that way. I tell you what, Dustin and I recently we were looking at batch 7 today. We could get a batch 7 pretty reasonably.
We were looking at it's a. I don't know if we want to talk about that. I didn't buy it.
I tell you what, I'm gonna write my definitive list on Balvenie ton or 1401. I'm confident in saying my list.
That bottle's around in 2 months. It will be purchased. That's when I get my third a triple paycheck month.
I tell you what, I still say I've had 4 of them, so I still say 5, 8, 3, 9 is how I start mine. But Dustin, that batch 7 only had 11 casks, and the average age was 39 years, one of the highest.
We don't share it. People will go buy it.
Yeah, you're probably right. Probably right. All right, what's that I got to say? C 917 Scotland Ford anytime. Access back in the models. Yeah, man.
Ooh, I've never had the 917 Donner. That sounds. I had the 918. The 918 was epic. That's my favorite one I've ever had, and unfortunately, and actually, you know what? That's my favorite one I've had, and I've had a couple pirate bottles. I actually like that 918 as much. Now, mind you, I haven't had the quote unquote bottle of WoW. So
Well, Dustin, it's an epic night of drinking. What do you got to add, my friend?
Dude, it's been great, and the chat's been amazing. All of my favorite people here for the most part. There's a few people who aren't here that we'd love to have, but
for sure,
a great group of people.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so we're gonna wrap this up. But you guys came here for Laphroaig 18. I'm not disappointed by this new Laphroaig 18. Not disappointed at all. Dustin, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm gonna say at 225. I don't know if the 18 is a high value bottle. So for those of you trying to be financially conscientious, it may not be one to run out and get. But anybody who's a Laphroaig lover who wants to get a hold of something with good age, and you can't justify the 25, or you have a couple 25s and you're like, well, I can't afford to buy the new ones because the price has gone way up. This slots in beautifully. It's a little pricey, but I think I'm going to be buying more of these. If they keep making these and they keep coming out, as long as they're under 250, I'm going to be buying more.
I look at it. Let me give you a baseball analogy, Dustin. You need a good leadoff hitter, and you need a good 3 or 4 hitter to bring in runners. But you need a setup man in between them. And this Laphroaig 18 is the setup man between the 10 cast strength and the 25. That's my opinion. Dustin, I'm going to throw out a quick whiskey score here for everybody. Ooh. I'm going to say just quick whiskey score. I'm going to give the new Laphroaig 18 an 88 out of 100.
Okay.
I think it's a good, solid whiskey. We're going to let it open up. We're going to see, kind of how it opened up and where it go from there. Dustin, I hate to put you on the spot, but if you have an idea as far as a whiskey score, I'm sure they'd love to hear.
Yeah, I was in my head, I was thinking more in the 89 range. I will say my initial first reaction was like 87.
I agree.
Open up, let it kind of do its thing. I think the finish is good. I got 3 distinct flavored like I got two transitions, I guess. So opening, you always get the opening, so that doesn't count. Then you got a good distinct middle and finish. When you get 3 transitions, I usually start getting close to 90, but the opening was kind of weak, so that's kind of what kept me in more in the 89 range. But yeah, so I'm probably, we'll see what happens as this thing opens up when we go and finally do it. I like to have the consistency of how we do our reviews. Usually, I have a, getting ready, getting in position, having our kind of pre-work, pre-drinks and stuff. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I think this is probably going to be an 89 for me, which at the $200 price range in today's market is probably about right. So again, I don't think you're getting a great value. I think you're getting a really good whiskey for about, unfortunately, today's fair price.
Yeah, I agree. When it's $100 whiskey, this is an all-day buy. I mean, it's still an excellent whiskey for that.
This was $150, man. I'd buy 3 of them right now.
Let's see what it comes in. Let's ask a couple more questions on our way out the door. I'll keep checking for the 24 cartridges, Canada and California. Donner, get that 24. If you see a few of them, man, get all that you absolutely can. Scott, I hadn't noticed you earlier, Scott, but man, welcome. Still to try Laphroaig. Buddy, get on that. Love other distilleries. Which Laphroaig should I start with? Man, 10 cast strength. 10 cast strength, this 18, like that's Laphroaig, man. That is Laphroaig.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, this cartridge, you might be coming out for you, man. I mean, now the problem with the cartridge is it's not your standard Laphroaig because it's super sherry.
Correct.
But,
Correct.
I mean,
it's an excellent whiskey. Yeah. This new 24, the cartridge, excellent one. The 10 cast strengths are dynamite. This 18 is a great example of what Laphroaig is, a little bit of age. And Dustin and I are huge fans of the 25. The 25 Laphroaig is one of the more affordable 25-year-old scotches in general, and it's cast strength.
Yeah.
And it's an Islay whiskey. I mean, it's got a ton. I mean, I cannot think of. I can think of more affordable 25-year-old whiskeys. I mean, you start with Glenfarclas, but I cannot think of a better 25-year-old whiskey for the money. A phrase I like to say: "Bang for the buck." My Sonny DeLong, my first boss out of college, he was a big bang for your buck guy. He always said it. He liked this Chinese restaurant we went to. He liked Three Guys Brothers in Grove City. But I'm telling you, man, bang for your buck. The Laphroaig 25 cast strength is the best bang for your buck 25-year-old whiskey.
It's gone up hundreds of dollars in the last couple of years, and it's still your bang for your buck. I mean, the Glengoyne 25 at one point was competing with it, but the price on that went up even faster, and it lost its title.
Yeah, no, I agree. We appreciate it, Craig.
Didn't see you earlier.
Seen you a couple times here in the comments, man. We appreciate it. If we haven't had a lot of chance to talk, Coates makes contact and takes hits and walks. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? As a White Sox fan, he's my Hideki Matsui in the 2-hole. You know what I mean? You know what he is? You know what he is, Jason? He's Roberto Alomar. He's the perfect 2-hole hitter. Switch left-hander, but he's really switch hitter, but he's really a left-hander. He's going to move the guy over. He's going to hit for a good average. That good average is the 48%. He's got a little bit of pop. That's the Pete. You know what I mean? He's a good defender. That's the Isla. Yeah, this dude is the Roberto Alomar, 2-hole hitter of Isla whiskey for sure.
Oh, my God. So I'm back. I'm finishing off that 25-year mic. God, it's just epic. So epic.
Quarter cast is one of my favorites, brother. That cartridge quarter cast, Dustin will tell you. I'm a huge fan of that cartridge quarter cast. I love it. Bought the 2004 1852 based on Dustin's remarks. Man, that is the most viscous, oily Laphroaig 25 of all of them. Me and Dustin got a back and forth between what's actually better, the 2017 or the 18. That's going to come straight down to, do you like sherry in your Laphroaig 25 or do you like all bourbon cask maturation? That's what that decision's about. Find a signatory being 91 for 2 if you feel like still compared to Glendronach 18, 270 sitting on the shelf. Buy it.
Glendronach 18 went stupid, and they're trying to chase McAllen, and that's just.
Yeah, bro. The 25 is on the shelf near me for 600. The little Laphroaig I'm talking about, that's about right. That's about right. Yeah, I mean, you can get them a few places still for around 500 on
check overseas. Check overseas. You can probably save a few bucks.
Yeah, Whiskey International and WhiskeyWorld.com. That's the two places that I would go for. They do a good job.
Yeah.
I feel you, Craig. I feel you on that, my friend. I feel you on that.
Jason, comments.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, so Dustin and I are gonna call it a day. But hey, we want to thank you guys all for joining us. We really want to get this 4018 out to you guys as soon as possible, since we have so many whiskey or so many reviews in the queue currently right now. We want to let you guys know, get out there. And again, this is going to post on this coming Wednesday. But at the end of the day, it's nice that we got to talk a little bit about what this cartridge can do, because me and Dustin could not be more impressed. Good night to y'all. We appreciate y'all coming in the live stream. Dustin, until next time. What do we wish the folks?
Happy drinking.
We'll see you then.
So good.